Hello and welcome to the channel. In this video, I'm going to be walking you through the great jazz standard, All of Me, and I'm going to be showing you how to stylize the melody, how to play left-hand jazz chords, and even how to embellish the melody and improvise with the melody. But first, if you're new here, I am the creator of a free ebook and video course, Anyone Can Play Jazz Chords. So throughout the video, if there's any questions that you have, or if you want a intro to how to play from a lead sheet or how to play jazz chords, definitely check that out in the description. But let's go ahead and get started. So here is a lead sheet for All of Me, and the first thing we want to do is make sure that the melody is in a jazz style. A lot of times with these really popular songs, they're written in a more generic style, and so some of the rhythms are just written as more generic rhythms, like this half note here. It's just played as half note, half note. But the first thing we want to do is identify those, see if they sound like they're in a jazz style, and change them if need be. And this first phrase, we'll go ahead and play it. 4, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And that first phrase actually sounds great. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And the only thing about this second phrase is just these last two half notes. So to make this more in a jazz style, we're just going to change that rhythm. So it's going to be a dotted quarter, and then we're going to anticipate the half note 1/8 note early. So it's going to be like this. 2. So notice that we put that eighth note just a little bit early. And we're going to do that in the next phrase as well. And you're going to see this as a pattern. A lot of times when we have these half notes, and there's just two half notes right next to each other, occasionally it might be in the style to keep it that way, but usually we're going to anticipate that second note. So here's that third line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So notice again, we're pushing that beat 3 just a little bit earlier, and that makes it swing a little bit more. Let's do the fourth line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 1. And this one, we definitely could move that. We definitely could move this B. We could move it just a little bit earlier, but because this whole line is leading to the next line, I think it actually works quite well keeping it the same. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Right? So we're actually going to keep that the same. And then we're going to make a lot of the same decisions in this fifth, or I guess it's the sixth line right here than we did in the second line. So we're just going to move this eighth note here. We're going to move the half note 1 half beat earlier, so it's going to be a dotted quarter and then an eighth tied to that half note. So that's going to sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3, and 4. Right? And then we get to this last section, which is different than the first half. And we're going to change a few things here. So I think this one, I think both this note and this note we want to push a little bit earlier. So that's going to sound like this. Getting rid of how that's written there. We're going to put a eighth note rest there. And we have an eighth note. Of course, you don't have to write this all out. Eventually, of course, when I read a lead sheet, I'm not writing these out. I'm just automatically doing it, choosing the beats that are kind of a little bit square, and then I'm moving them a little bit earlier. It's a fairly good rule of thumb for a lot of this that I'm changing. And then I'm going to do the same thing in the next set of two measures. So getting rid of that, and then putting right there, putting an eighth rest, and then tying this over. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Right? It's a little bit hard to actually count that out loud while playing the chords, but we're going to do it step by step. So let's do this last line now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. And just to keep it just to not do the same thing every time, I think we're going to keep these as quarter notes. And then finally, we're going to move this last note by just an eighth note. So that last line will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's go ahead and play this through. We're just going to do the melody. I'll play the chords, but don't worry about that. Just play the melody along with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Four. 1, 2, 3, 4. Going on to the second half. I'm just going to move this up. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, Okay, so let's go ahead and now add the chords. Of course, I was just playing the chords. But let's go ahead and start from the top. And a lot of these chords are going to be repeated, so once I explain one chord, I probably won't explain it multiple times. But first of all, one thing to note is that a lot of times the chords that are written on the lead sheet may need a little bit of modification. Sometimes the person who was making the lead sheet just did it really quick. And this C major 7, if you listen, this B that's in the voicing sometimes clashes with the C that's on top. So a lot of times when I see the melody that's on the C or on the root of that chord, if I have a major 7th, I'm going to turn it into a major 6th instead. So we're getting rid of that 7th and making it a major 6th. And that sounds more like this. It has more of a swing era style. See how it doesn't clash with the melody. It sounds really nice with the melody. Whereas this one, which is with the major 7, it clashes with the melody. So that's the first one, and the notes are C, E, G, and B. And once again, if you're getting to this section and you're like, man, I've never read chord symbols before, this is all new to me, definitely check out my ebook, Anyone Can Play Jazz Chords, and that'll get you started with this. Of course, you're welcome to follow along with the video, but if you are going through this and I'm going a little bit too fast and you want a very systematic method for learning jazz chords and getting comfortable and confident with them, go ahead and check that out. The link is in the description. So going on, we have this E7, right? We have E, G sharp, B, and D, right? And as I go through, I want to get comfortable with the root position, which is where the name of the chord or the letter of the chord is on the bottom of the chord. But I also want to get comfortable with what I usually call the second position or the second inversion, which is where I put the 5th on the bottom. That makes it so we can smoothly transition between the chords if we just have two versions of that chord. So I have C major 6, and then I have E7, and then going on, A7 is A, C sharp, E, and G, but notice I'm playing it in second position with the E on bottom. So I don't want to have to move my hand a lot. And then D minor. Here I'm playing a D minor 7, which is D, F, A, and C. A lot of times if the chord symbol doesn't say a 7 or a 6, I have a decision to make. It's just kind of a shorthand that they have. For now, I'll give those to you, but eventually, as you're reading a lead sheet, you'll need to learn, what are the different options that we have, and then choose between those options. So for this video, I'm mostly just doing 7ths for those. So we have D minor 7, which is D, F, A, C. And we're back to our E7, which was E, G sharp, B, and D. And then we have A minor 7, which is A, C, E, and G. And once again, I'm playing this in second inversion with the E or the 5th on bottom. Then I have D7, which is D, F sharp, A, and C. And then I have a standard 2-5-1 chord progression in C. So I have D minor 7, which is D, F, A, C, and then G7, which is G, B, D, and F. And then I go back to my C major 6. Once again, I'm changing that C major 7 to C major 6 because it fits a little bit better with the melody. Right? And a lot of this, the next 8 measures, just repeat, right? So this is C major 6, E7, A7 with the 5th on the bottom, right? And then D minor 7. And then this last part is a little bit different. We have F major, and I'm choosing to do F major 6 because the melody, that D, is that D is the 6th above F. So the 6 is already in the chord, so I'm just going to put it in the chord symbol and play it in my left hand. And then same thing here, this is F minor 6. And then notice this C major chord. This C major chord actually has the 7th in the melody. So we're going to keep that that C major 7, which is going to be C, E, G, and B, instead of the C major 6, where we had C, E, G, and A, right? So we're going to do the C major 7 with the A, and then A7, which we've played a little earlier. And then now all the other chords we've done already. So this is a standard 2-5-1 chord progression in C major. Again, if that's new to you, definitely check out the ebook below, and that'll clear up a lot of the questions that may come up as you're watching this video, as well as some of the others where I break down standards like this. So now we have our left-hand chords, and we want to get comfortable with playing them along with the melody. So I already did that a little bit earlier in the video, so if you need to, you can pause the video, but we're going to go ahead and we're going to go on to adding rhythm to the chords. And so in this video, we're going to use a fairly standard rhythm for a lot of these gaps in the chords, which is going to just give you some really stylistic rhythms that you can play while you're reading this lead sheet. So a lot of times what we'll do is we'll play the melody in the right hand, and then we are playing the chords in the left hand, but we're adding rhythms to create more interest and to make it more exciting. So this is the rhythm that we're going to do. I'm first going to play it for you, and then I'm going to write out some examples. So. So what the rhythm is I'm playing on the and of 3. So I'm going 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And then I'm putting the chord on the downbeat of whatever measure it changes. So in this first measure, I'm putting it, I'm playing the chord in the top, and I'm just putting these rhythms above, if that makes sense. And then, right? So this is the rhythm, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So definitely pause the video or play through that multiple times if you need to get comfortable with that rhythm. What we basically have is in the second measure, we have what is called a Charleston rhythm, which is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And then in the first measure, we're kind of reacting to the melody by doing something, a quarter note after the melody. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. In this case, the melody ends on the and of 2, so I'm putting that short left-hand rhythm on the and of 3. So this is how that sounds. And then we go right into the rest of the melody. So and anytime where that rhythm kind of conflicts with the melody or it gets a little bit hard to play over the melody, we're just going to leave out whatever part of that rhythm didn't really work with the melody. So in the second line here, we're going to do this here. We're just going to hold this chord on the second measure for the whole measure. So we're going to do this. So notice how I simplified the rhythm and made it just a little easier to coordinate with the right hand. Or if I did try to play it together with that rhythm, it might feel a little bit busy. So by taking away that third chord right here, I'm just leaving it long. By taking that away, I'm actually giving space for the melody, so it's not getting in the way. So. So that whole section, all I'm doing is I'm playing this same rhythm, and it's really tying the melody together well, so that it feels like a conversation happening between the right and the left hand. Now that may take you some time to get comfortable with, but just start off with getting comfortable with it on one line, and you can keep the rest with just whole notes in the left hand. Once you're comfortable, you can add as much or as little of that rhythm as you want, and you can just start feeling like you're grooving along with the right hand, and that's really fun. So for the last part of the melody is a lot different, and it's a lot busier. There's a lot more going on. So instead of putting that rhythm, we're just going to play straight half notes and whole notes, and because the melody is a lot more busy, it's going to work great. So here's that last two lines. Right? So because it was a different section, the section sounds new, it's always good to change how we are accompanying the left hand. And those are some of the things you can look for when you're reading a lead sheet. You can say, well, does the melody change? Well, I can change something about the way I'm accompanying. So if the melody is really sparse, you can add these rhythms to create more interest. And if the melody is a little bit busier, there's more going on, or maybe it's a longer phrase in this case, that you can simplify the accompaniment to make it sound more musical. And finally, the last thing I want to show you is our double take for this video, where I'm going to show you one thing to just take this a lot further, which is I want to show you how we can embellish the melody in the gaps. And what we can do there is, for now, let's just keep the left hand really simple. And if you were going to take a solo on this, you could just play the melody, and then instead of adding those chords in the left hand, we're just going to add something in the right hand to embellish the melody. So let me show you how you could do something like that. So. So sometimes I'm leaving out parts of the melody. Sometimes you can just repeat notes of the melody to make it a little bit more interesting. So starting off again where we have the F6. Right, so notice that I'm not really doing that much. I'm just adding some notes, and a lot of the notes that I'm adding are notes of the chord that I'm already playing in my left hand. So I can play notes that are in the chord, I can stick on that same melody note that I'm holding out, and then I could play notes above or below it. And if I kind of lose track of my place in the measure, or I realize I've gone a little bit too far, that's fine. We can just hop back on the melody the next chance we get. So, and really that's how we start soloing. We can start getting comfortable with soloing, just really embellishing the melody, and occasionally we're going to realize that our ideas were different than the melody, and that's okay. So we just start off with just playing outside of that melody a little bit, and then over time we're getting comfortable with that and more embellishment. And that's really how a lot of early 20th century jazz improvisation started. If you go back and you listen to recordings with Louis Armstrong and Sidney Bechet and a lot of those New Orleans players, it was a lot of, they would just play the melody again and they would embellish it. So this is a great way to get started with soloing, just taking the melody and getting started, just kind of playing with the melody, changing the rhythm, adding some repeated notes, adding some new notes, just to get comfortable, just getting outside of playing the melody exactly as is. And that's a great way to get started with improvisation. So I hope that this video was helpful for you and it helped you see how you can get started playing jazz standards off of lead sheets. Of course, I have a whole step-by-step course which will help you get started with playing jazz and get you from not knowing anything about jazz to being comfortable going and sitting in at a jam session, knowing what to do. so that you'll feel comfortable the first time you want to jam with a friend or even go to a public jam session. So definitely check that out in the link in the description if you'd like my help to really launch your jazz piano journey. And then definitely check out one of my latest videos where I walk you through the great jazz standard Autumn Leaves. I'll see you in the next video.